The Cubs are in Detroit for the first time since 2009, back into interleague play and a short two-game series. The Cubs and the Detroit Tigers from Comerica Park on a beautiful night here on Comcast Sportsnet. Great to have you with us. We're refreshed after a nice day off here in Detroit yesterday. Jim DeShays and Len Casper. We'll talk about the Tigers in a second, but this long road trip ends here tomorrow night, and the Cubs have won 4 of their first 7.
It started down in Miami. Cubs thought they'd do some damage there, but dropped 2 out of 3 to the Fish, and then into Washington against the Nationals, and had a very nice weekend, winning 3 out of 4. Have not scored a ton of runs, just 27 runs scored in the 7 ball games. Starting pitching's been very good. The bullpen's been very good. And Anthony Rizzo has been outstanding.
The Tigers have been the dominant team in the American League Central. They have won the last 4 division titles. They are struggling right now. They've dropped 8 of their last 10. Offensively, they rank kind of middle of the pack in the American League, but it seems to be a matter of time, and they've got some dangerous weapons.
Yeah, they've started to turn things around here the last couple of ball games. Of course, they have the best hitter in all of baseball, Miguel Cabrera. He's doing what he normally does, hitting .320, hitting the ball out of the ballpark. Yoenis Cespedes is new to the Tigers. He's performing well, hitting .300 with 8 long ones. And Jose, not Julio, Iglesias, hitting for a very high average and playing a very slick shortstop.
And a good American League pitching matchup. John Lester doesn't have to worry about his offer at the plate, and he's faced the Tigers quite a bit.
Yeah, he's not had a lot of success against this Detroit ball club. Look at the numbers: 9 starts against Detroit. Lester 2-4 with a .483 earned run average. Anibal Sanchez has been a bit of an enigma for the Tigers and really struggled of late. Last 4 pitching to a .771 earned run average.
So Lester for the Cubs, Sanchez for the Tigers, and 2 of the elite hitters in each league. You've got Anthony Rizzo, Miguel Cabrera, these 2 teams' first basemen. Cubs and Tigers are next.
Area and Northwest Indiana Lexus dealer who invites you to test drive a Lexus today. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Illinois. Through it all. AT&T UVerse. Find out what's possible with AT&T. Call 1-800-PIC-ATT. Mobilizing your world. Ford. Check out America's freshest lineup at your local Ford store or at localfordstores.com. And by Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com.
And we'd like to welcome all of our viewers watching on CST Communications in Eldridge, Iowa. Fans walking into Comerica Park, greeted by the statue of the late and great Ernie Harwell, voice of the Tigers for 42 seasons. Ernie passed away in 2010, but I actually got to see Ernie the last time we were here in Detroit in 2009. It has been a while. And first time the Cubs are able to use the designated hitter here in 2015. That man will be a catcher, Miguel Montero. Let's hear from his manager, Joe Madden.
Well, because, he's probably the best candidate to hit right now. This guy today, Sanchez, has really been heavy reverse this year. I like this pitcher a lot. I've been a big fan. He's got a great arm. Really has an awesome changeup. So I just chose to go with the righties, and then I take one lefty. And I thought Miggy, just based on who he is, to hit behind Bryant in the batting order probably causes more pause among them than anybody else. So I chose Miggy to hit for it.
Hasn't done it a lot. 26 career plate appearances as a DH, but he's hit .320 in those situations. Second day of the draft. We'll have information on that a little later. And the Cubs have signed a veteran short reliever, Rafael Soriano, to a minor league contract. Wouldn't be surprised if we see him at the big league level. Not too far down the road. JD, 3 times over 40 saves, including 2 years ago with the Nationals.
Yeah, he pitched with Joe Madden in Tampa for a while, so Joe knows him well. And struggled down through the second half of last year, but was really good during the first half. And it's a low-risk acquisition for the Cubs. Get him into shape, get him out throwing some minor league games, see what you've got. And, yeah, probably we'll see him in the big leagues sometime down the road.
If tonight's Cubs leadoff man gets a hit, Vinny's Beverage Depot will donate $100 to Make-A-Wish, Illinois. Now the Cubs Southwest starting lineup. That leadoff man is Dexter Fowler, as per usual. Anthony Rizzo with a career-best 12-game hitting streak. Chris Bryant, the third baseman. Miguel Montero, we mentioned the DH. Chris Denorfia is in left, his second game back for the DL. Starlin Castro, the shortstop. Junior Lake is in right. David Ross, the catcher for John Lester. And Addison Russell hits ninth and plays second.
Check in with the Tigers defensively. Big outfield here to cover. This has been a very good defensive team. They've made just 27 errors, second fewest in the American League. Cespedes, big arm out there in left. Davis, the speedster in center. J.D. Martinez in right. Wilson Iglesias, Kinsler, Cabrera, third to first. James McCann, the rookie, behind the plate and on the mound. Our Lexus pursuing perfection starting pitcher for the Tigers tonight. Anibal Sanchez, 73 and 71 lifetime with a 366 earned run average. He has struggled this year, 3 and 7 with a 569. He's allowed 13 home runs already this year. That's the total he had allowed in each of the last 2 seasons combined.
Got the umpires for you tonight. David Rackley works the plate. Clint Fagan is at first. The crew chief is Hunter Wendelstedt. Bob Davidson is over at third. So here's Dexter Fowler. And the Cubs have not beaten the Tigers since 2001. Ron Coomer that day went 3 for 4 with a triple and 5 RBIs. Cubs are 4 and 13 versus Detroit since 1998.
Coombe ought to be DH in here today. Should have activated Coombe.
So the 31-year-old Anibal Sanchez dealing, and we are underway.
Stuff-wise, Sanchez really has been fine. There's Coombe. That big day here so many years ago.
That is a strike.
He goes fastball, slider, curve, and a change. He'll sink his fastball. He'll also throw a cutter.
The 1-1. Fastball off the outside corner. Postcard weather, 77 degrees. Partly cloudy. Just a beautiful night. On the ground to the second baseman, Kinsler. Good glove man. And that's the first out. Now Anthony Rizzo. A lot of Cubs playing their first game in this ballpark, including Rizzo. He, Justin Upton, and Starling Marte, the only current players in baseball with at least 10 home runs and 10 steals. He's got 11 homers and 10 stolen bases. And how about this? He's been hit by 13 pitches. The Tigers as a team have been hit only 10 times.
That's he's got a triple-double going there when you throw the hit-by pitches in with the stolen bases and the home runs. A rare one you don't focus on too much.
Tigers over shift to the right.
He'll be forever known as a Rizzo.
Look at that. He's been on multiple times in his last 11. He's got a hit in his last 12. And a swing and a miss on a changeup.
Yeah, on the road trip, 11 out of 26. That's a .423 batting average. A couple of home runs. These were in one game against the Nationals. He walked 5 times, driven in 6.
Another changeup and a beauty, and Sanchez strikes out Rizzo for out number 2.
A little blip we heard from Joe Madden prior to the start of the ball game. He talked about Sanchez being a reverse guy. Significantly so this year. Left-handed batters hitting just .228 against them. Righties are batting .292. That changeup against lefties has been a really good weapon for him, and his slider has not been as good as it normally is, and that's why right-handers have been doing a fair bit of damage against him.
Chris Bryant, first pitch swinging. A lot of foul territory here in this ballpark, but no play for Cabrera. Drops into the Cubs dugout. Now you can buy an extra out or two as a pitcher here in this spacious yard. It is not the pitcher's park it was once known as they have moved the fences in over the years. It actually has tilted slightly toward the hitter in the last few years. David took that one right off the numbers.
David was doing.
Two and one on Bryant. Montero, the DH, is on deck. So both catchers on the roster are in the starting lineup. Sanchez won the American League ERA title in 2013 with a .257. And as JD mentioned earlier, off to a very rough start. .569 for his ERA. Tied for the American League lead with 7 losses. Ground ball into left and a base hit.
Well, obviously the Tigers need Sanchez to get things turned around. The pitching situation here not as good as it used to be. Max Scherzer's no longer here. Justin Verlander is still on the DL, but expected back shortly. Porcello's gone. Fister's gone. They've had 8 different pitchers make starts for them this year.
They're going to get Justin Verlander back on Saturday against Cleveland. There's Brad Ausmus. Second year as the Detroit manager. Strike called on Montero.
And Brad Ausmus, who throughout his playing career drew a lot of comparisons to Mike Matheny, and the same thing continues in the managerial career as he steps in for Jim Leyland, taking over a winning team, as Matheny did in St. Louis following Tony La Russa. Tigers won their 4th consecutive division last year, winning 90 games. And like Matheny, when they would do those player polls, who's most likely to become a big league manager, Ausmus was always at or near the top of that list.
Like Kyle Hendricks, a Dartmouth guy. In case you're wondering, Mike Baxter is the emergency catcher. Joe did not hesitate to put both catchers in the lineup. And
got a balk.
We've got a balk. A balk has been called on Sanchez.
Bob Davidson's on this crew, isn't he?
Balk and Bob, you're right. Did he make the call?
I don't know if he did or not. I'm just assuming. Making a note on my score sheet here, and I didn't see who made the call, but it was pretty good bet.
Montero did not like that call. Denorfia on deck. 2 strikes on Montero. Spin and the pitch. Sanchez thought he might have had strike 3. 1-2 the count. Just underway here in Detroit. See that number 3? He got the call. This one off the plate.
David Rackley remains perfect. See if he goes back to the changeup he used to get Rizzo. Nope.
Foul tip, strike 3 on the fastball. Tigers coming up against lefty John Lester when we come back. A little bit as we move along with their offense. Rajay Davis is in center. Ian Kinsler at second. Miguel Cabrera, future Hall of Famer. Big numbers against Lester. Cespedes in left. J.D. Martinez has jump-started his career here in Detroit. He's in right. Castellanos is the DH. James McCann catching with Alex Avila on the DL. Josh Wilson, the veteran, plays third. And Jose Iglesias, the shortstop, that's ninth.
And we check in with the Cubs defensively. Chris Denorfia is going to play left field tonight. Dexter Fowler in center. Junior Lake is in right, third to first. The norm. Brian Castro, Russell Rizzo, David Ross. Again, the norm behind the plate. When that man, John Lester, is on the mound, he is the Lexus starting pitcher for the Cubs tonight. 4 up, 4 down with a .386 earned run average. He's made 11 starts. Scuffled last time out against the Marlins in Miami, but that interrupted a very nice run of quality work for Lester.
So it's Lester to Davis and Lowe for ball 1. So the Tigers rank 9th in the American League in runs per game, but they lead the league in batting average. They're second in the AL OPS, second in stolen bases. And that's past Bryant, and Davis coming around first. He's going to make second easily, and that's a leadoff 2-base hit. Yeah, they hit with runners in scoring position. All the other numbers look pretty good. The one thing that has hurt them probably the most is they've hit into the most double plays in all of baseball, and that will not be a factor here with a runner at second.
Yeah, 61 times they've bounced into double plays this year, and I just think when you look at the batting average and the OPS, those numbers you referenced, it's just a matter of time before they start to score runs in line with those other numbers.
This is a veteran-laden, high payroll team whose window has been open here for a few years. As we mentioned, a 4-time defending AL Central champs. one pennant during this stretch, but they're built to win and win now. That's floated foul down the right field line.
Coming into the season, the biggest concern perhaps for the Tigers was the bullpen, but the bullpen's been just fine. It's been the inconsistent offense and a shaky rotation.
Davis was good speed. As Russell trying to keep him honest at second. Cornermen are in, and that gets by Ross on maybe a cross-up. Didn't look like he even moved his mitt. And that'll be a passed ball most likely on Ross. What happened here? He just missed it.
Yeah, I think maybe he's looking for a little cutting action on that pitch, and Lester threw him a four-seamer, maybe a two-seamer with a little run away.
So now the infield back with Davis at third and nobody out. And the 1-1 on the way, and it's hit foul, 1-2. Kinsler acquired from Texas prior to last year. That was the Prince Fielder deal. Fielder and Cash went to the Rangers.
Cash is in money.
Yes.
Cash money currency, hard.
Norm
hard
Cash.
Currency.
That ball's going to be caught by Russell. Sounded like Kinsler broke his bat. So that's the first out, and here comes Miguel Cabrera. We haven't seen Miguel much here in the last few years, but he has killed Cubs pitching in his career. A lot of those at-bats coming with the Marlins. 338 in 39 career games, and then 333 in the 03 playoffs.
That 3-4-5 slash line going, hitting better than 300, on base better than 4, and slugging better than 5.
He's got a 26 game on base streak. 13th season, and he's only 32. Including the 2013 playoffs, Lester facing the Tigers for the 12th time in his career. Pitched against Detroit while with Boston in the American League Championship Series in 2013. And he went 1-1 in those two starts. Ground ball into center and a base hit. Cabrera drives in Davis, and it's 1-0 Detroit. 39th RBI for Cabrera.
I would imagine Miguel Cabrera has a pretty high success rate with a man on third base, less than 2 outs. Such a good approach. He's so balanced and quiet at home plate. An unbelievably good hitter. Tigers cash in the leadoff double.
Yoenis Cespedes. Red hot here as of late.
John Lester in this ballpark, 1-1 with an ERA of 5.63.
Kick, and the 1-0 is in there for a strike. These two guys were involved in the same trade. And some first inning struggles for Lester. Swing and a miss. Lester and Johnny Gomes and Cash to Oakland for Cespedes. And a competitive balance round B pick. That was July 31st of last year. So Cespedes has been traded a couple of times here in the last calendar year. Russell will flip. Castro at second. Kind of an awkward throw, and he couldn't get anything on it. Cespedes reaches on a fielder's choice. So he's at first with 2 outs.
Castro's got kind of an awkward angle as he goes to the bag. He was initially pursuing that ground ball, so that took away any angle he was going to have to try to make that relay to first.
Now J.D. Martinez. He was released by the Astros during spring training last year. 2 days later, signed a minor league deal with Detroit. Came up in April. And what a find. Hit .315 last year with 23 home runs in 123 games.
Yeah, that's a lot of value for the Astros to give up and get nothing in return. Martinez went to AAA, tore it up there, came to the big leagues, and immediately started hitting the ball out of the ballpark.
Mechanically looks a lot different than he did when he was with the Astros, doesn't he? His setup.
Yeah, it's a lot simpler. A whole lot going on in the past. Kind of had a toe tap thing going on before. Now he's just got a leg kick.
Cespedes at first, a run in, 2 outs, and the 2-1 is inside to make it 3-1. Bouncer to Bryant. And he'll fire to Rizzo to end the inning. Couple of hits, including the RBI by Cabrera. 1-0 Detroit after an inning. To watch a game at Wrigley Field this Thursday. The Cubs kick off a 4-game weekend set with the Reds, followed by 2 with the Indians. Get your tickets at Cubs.com. 6-game homestand coming up, and then right back to the road. Good to see a lot of Cubs blue here at Comerica Park tonight. Denorfia, Castro, and Lake. So no Chris Coughlin in the lineup. Denorfia came off the DL for the second time on Sunday and had 3 hits. Ball 1. Just about the entire Cubs front office hopped on a couple of buses and came to Detroit for this one. Fly to center. And it's caught by Davis for the out. I guess about the only part of the front office that's not here is the part that's running the draft. That's the baseball department. Here comes Castro. Two hits, 2 RBIs on Sunday. Starlin looking to get hot. He's got the 11th worst OPS in the National League currently at .653. So he's due for a hot stretch. Sanchez with the 0-1. Let's get what the Cubs did yesterday on day 1. Ian Happ, switch hitting outfielder / second baseman. The University of Cincinnati. And Donnie Dewey's left-handed outfielder from North Florida. So Cubs sticking with the college position players. That ball will get through and into right. So the Cubs have their second hit. Bryant in the first. Castro here in the second, and it'll bring up Junior Lake.
Sanchez with a fastball away. Castro stays on it, doesn't really drive it, but able to push it through that hole on the right side.
Lake making his 11th start on the year and his 6th on this road trip. With Jorge Soler on the DL. He's had a lot more playing time here lately. And a called strike.
Why is that not a balk?
Sure looked like it.
See any real stop there? Even a real change of direction. Castro's not a base steal. He's not a real threat to run here. Joe Madden more likely to hit and run. Sanchez has been easy to run on throughout his career. 7 out of 9 successful this year. In his career, there have been 119 stolen bases with Sanchez on the mound and just 17 caught. So it stands to reason that he'd try to hasten that delivery, try to do something to upset the running game.
In the air to right. And Martinez has it, 2 outs. Now the number 8 hitter, usually it's the pitcher. And with the DH, tonight it's a catcher. David Ross with his 15th start, including 3 in a row earlier on this trip. He had the game-ending RBI single against Kansas City a week ago Sunday. Won the game last Thursday in Washington with his arm picking off Clint Robinson at first base to end the game.
Yeah, we had that graphic in the open showing the hitting and the pitching numbers for the road trip. The defense has been solid as well, and at times spectacular.
Fouled back. Sanchez, a guy the Cubs reportedly went after prior to 2013 and made him a competitive offer. He ultimately re-signed with Detroit. 5 years, $80 million. He's got a no-hitter to his credit. That was as a rookie with the Marlins in 2006. I mentioned he led the American League 2 years ago in earned run average. He has 4 one-hitters and the no-no. joining Bob Feller as one of 2 pitchers since at least 1916 to have 5 complete games of 1 or 0 hits in the first 155 games of his career. Ross sky high. Cespedes didn't find it. That ball's still back, and it is caught. Caught by Davis. He just stole a 2-run homer away from David Ross. They've got that short fence out there and left. And Rajai Davis just took it away to end the inning. Still 1-0 Detroit. To take away a go-ahead 2-run homer, our Xfinity high-speed action. Cespedes misjudged it. He didn't know where it was. But Davis had a beat on it from Jump Street. What a catch.
Yeah, Cespedes didn't see it off the bat. David Ross robbed of his first home run of the year, and Davis showing tremendous leaping ability.
All you can do is laugh or cry, I guess.
Can't cry because there's
no
crying in
baseball. Yep. Nick Castellanos, he's the DH, and he fouls for a strike. Well, remember that catch. Probably deserves another look.
It's not a real high wall, but it's still a very impressive catch. Look how high he gets. I mean, he's armpit on top of the wall.
Yep. That wall is 8 feet 6 inches high. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Castellanos last year struggled with the glove. He's made strides in that department, but he's not getting it done offensively this year, hitting just .229.
They miss Victor Martinez. He's on the DL. Foul tip for strike 3. Martinez with left knee inflammation. Alex Avila, the catcher, left knee injury. We mentioned Verlander. He'll be back on Saturday. Make his season debut. But we just said no crying in baseball, so certainly the rest of the American League Central, they're not going to shed a tear for the Tigers' injury woes. They've got their own issues. Here's James McCann, the catcher. Right in there for strike 1. And now Ross saw something or wanted to have a word with Lester. Lester was ready to throw that next pitch. Now, there had been some external speculation with the DH in order here, and then next week in Cleveland and Minnesota that the Cubs may make some sort of roster move. We don't know what would have happened with Javier Baez, but we do know now that unfortunately he's going to be out 6 to 8 weeks with a fractured left ring finger, and the bad luck has continued for Baez. Just feel awful for him. He still could factor in at the big league level this season, but it's going to have to be in the second half at the earliest. And again, I don't know if there was a guarantee that he was coming up anytime soon, but he was putting together a nice first half with Iowa.
Yeah, I think the way he had been playing, and I don't know if he would have been here for this series, but perhaps with those other 2 American League series looming, he might have gotten an opportunity. And yeah, I suspect once he's healthy and gets back into a rhythm down at AAA, he'll get the call.
Lester thought he had him on the previous pitch, but he gets him on the swing this time.
Budweiser Bleacher Fridays continue June 12th as the Cubs go country. Fans will enjoy country music hits played before and during the game. All Budweiser Bleacher fans 21 and older will receive a country cap presented by Budweiser. Special entertainment in the bleachers includes live music, additional giveaways, photo ops, and fun games. For tickets, visit Cubs.com.
Veteran infielder Josh Wilson, he's playing third. This is just his third game with Detroit. On Saturday at the White Sox, he tied his career high with 4 hits.
That's Lester 101 right there. That power cutter down and in. Nasty.
Swing and a miss. He just struck out the side. After 2, 1-0 Detroit. Back here in Detroit, 1-0 Tigers. Biggest play of the game was the catch by Rajai Davis, as Addison Russell takes a strike from Sanchez. Russell just 3 for his last 23. One and 1 the count. Jake Arrieta, Shane Green tomorrow night here on CSN to wrap up the series. And the long road trip.
Second longest of the year. The Cubs have a 10-dayer in September.
Here it comes. Foul back of the plate. And it's 2-2. Fowler and then Rizzo here in the third inning. Sanchez has not faced the Tigers since, or the Cubs rather, since July 17th, 2012. That one driven out into deep right center, and it'll be Davis. He's had a busy start to this one. Make sure you follow Patrick Mooney, our Cubs insider, all season long on Comcast Sportsnet, brought to you by nationwide agent Jeff Vukovich. Visit Jeff at jeffvuk.com. Nationwide is on your side. And we'll chat with Patrick tomorrow night. Strike on Fowler. Cabrera backs up at first. And he got the curve over. Sanchez from Maracay, Venezuela. Signed with the Red Sox back in 2001, and he punches out Fowler for out number 2.
Yeah, went back to the changeup that he used on Rizzo to get Fowler. Went fastball, curveball, changeup, using all of his weapons there against a left-handed hitter. He'll use that curveball more against lefties than righties normally.
Another guy who was in the Boston farm system at one time, Anthony Rizzo, and he backs up Cabrera. It'll go 3-1, and that will end the inning. Cubs go down quietly, 1-0 Detroit. Beer Money from 6 to 9 p.m. at Pinheads in Yorkville. Chicago's most exciting game show on TV. So come out, test your sports trivia knowledge. You could win big. Beer Money presented by Coors Light. Cubs trail 1-0. John Lester just struck out the side in the second. Now he'll get 9, 1, and 2, starting with the shortstop Iglesias. Foul pop-up. We mentioned a lot of room over there, but Ross will watch it drop behind the dugout. Iglesias off to a sizzling start at .331. He missed all of last year with bilateral tibial stress fractures. And another guy they got from Boston. You think about all the triangular relationships here with Boston players on both these Tigers and Cubs teams. It's a lot.
Strong Beantown links.
Yeah. Lester and Ross. And Rizzo. Sanchez. Cespedes. Iglesias. A chopper to Addison Russell.
So this Saturday, the Cubs play the Reds at 6:15. First 10,000 fans at the ballpark will receive a Joe Madden debut bobblehead presented by Pepsi. For details, visit Cubs.com.
Davis with a double, a run, and took away a 2-run homer. Recently on the paternity list for the birth of his second child last week.
A leadoff double the first time up. A speed guy. He's got 13 stolen bases, so obviously if he reaches first, he'll be looking to try to swipe a bag. It's not a one-dimensional club. They have power. They have speed.
Cutter caught the outside corner.
Although they have not hit a lot of home runs. They're 12th in the American League in long balls. We talked about the absence of Victor Martinez here. A very right-handed hitting team these days.
Fastball at 93. Omar Vizquel is their first base coach. Former Cub Dave Clark over at third. And it's now full.
You know what the link is there? Omar Vizquel was a Gold Glove fielder. Dave Clark was a Gold Glove boxer.
There you go. Yeah, I like it. Vizquel is smooth a shortstop as we've ever seen. Really good bunter too, wasn't he?
Yes. Yeah.
Davis strikes out.
You know, kind of like Ozzie Smith, known for the glove, especially when he first came into the league, and like Ozzie, made himself a better offensive player. Omar played at a very high level for a very long time.
Yeah, he made it look easy. He was definitely a magician out there in the middle of the diamond.
Would occasionally barehand a ball just because. Just because he felt like it.
Because he could. And why wouldn't you? Kinsler, a plus player, both with the bat and with the glove as a second baseman. 4-time All-Star.
Yeah, gets up on top of the plate, looks to pull the ball. He has power. Has not shown it this year. He's only hit the 1 home run. Tough guy to finish off. Doesn't strike out that much. He'll take his walks.
The 6'4" lefty coming back, and it's inside on a cutter.
Kinsler hit 17 long balls last year. His best home run season, 2011 with the Rangers, when he hit 32.
Bounce left side, cut off by Bryant. And that'll end the inning. Lester settling in. Back-to-back 1-2-3 innings for John. 1-0 Detroit.
Revolution. Coverage begins Saturday at 6 on CSN Plus.
So the Revolution will be televised.
Sign of the times.
Bryant 1 for 1 and hits that ball hard on one hop right to Iglesias, who throws him out. Ball was scalded, but he hit it right at Iglesias.
He had better aim last time. We'll head back to the dugout, 1 out of 2. So we've been talking about Sanchez and his struggles this year, but clearly this is a guy that knows how to pitch, and he's been good so far tonight. He was pretty good last time out. He allowed 4 runs in 7 innings, but only 5 hits. He walked 4 in that game. Just atypical. He's always been a guy with good control. His previous start, 7 innings of 2-run ball with 9 strikeouts.
1-0. Here's a pitch. It's outside. Well, the Tigers, like the Cubs, have done a good job of keeping their star players in the mix. And we had a chance to talk to a couple of their all-timers before the game. Willie Horton, a Detroit native, and there's Al Kaline, the Hall of Famer, 22 years in the big leagues. 80 years old, but he looks great. And right field at old Tiger Stadium. And you know you're good when you have a battery named after you. It's an old joke, but still works, I think. Montero grounds out.
Well, when you only play a team once every 10 years, you got to break it out.
Yep.
He made, what, 19, 20 All-Star teams, Al Kaline?
Yep.
Came to the big leagues at a very young age.
I think he won the Gold Glove every year for about a decade. And went into the Hall in 1980. Got 88.3% of the vote. Alan Trammell back in the organization as well. And that's a good remarriage because Tram had a really bad record as their manager with a young club a little over a decade ago. And he belongs here in Detroit. 1-1 on Denorfia.
And for the record, Al Kaline, 22 years a big leaguer, 15 All-Star teams.
Slider strike. 2-2. Sanchez by and large has hit his spots here early on tonight. Changeup, and it's Iglesias again. That is a 10-pitch 4th inning for Anibal Sanchez, leading 1-0. power to a young Miguel Cabrera in 2003. Now, here's her first 47 games. We should note Cabrera was 20 when he came up to the big leagues in 2003, but in terms of simple major league experience, you got to like the comp.
Yeah, anytime you can draw a comparison to a guy like Cabrera and project forward, you feel pretty good about things. Cabrera, a man-child when he first came to the big leagues.
Yeah, so he was a shortstop as a teenager in the minor leagues. Then he moved to third and played some left. When he came to the show, moved to first base here in Detroit in 2008. 402 career home runs, the first Venezuelan-born player to get to the 400 homer milestone. Got a 10-year contract in March of 2014. At the time, it was the most lucrative contract in any sport since surpassed $292 million. You ready for this, JD?
Yes.
His career earnings, when this deal is completed, will be over $413 million.
Yeah, multi-generational wealth. That's the thing. If you're a star big leaguer these days, you're setting yourself up, your kids, your grandkids, their grandkids. And we used to always have the caveat, if you're smart with your money. I don't even think you have to be smart with that kind of money. You can be pretty dumb and still be okay.
Three and one the count. And another base hit. Cabrera is now 14 out of 25 in his career against John Lester.
You watch a guy like Miguel Cabrera hit, and you say to yourself, why doesn't everybody that plays this game for a living try to do exactly what he does? Because it's such a simple approach.
So it was, I'm not sure what year, but it was like 6th or 7th inning, the Rays against the Tigers, runner at first, and in like 2 or 3 consecutive games, Joe Madden intentionally walked Miguel Cabrera with a runner at first in a big spot, and then got the next guy out. So keep that in mind here, these 4 games here for 2, and then in August at Wrigley Field. The 0-1 to Cespedes, misses in. 7 for his last 14. And fouled away. Now this looks like it's a little less than a sellout, but should be in the mid-30s. They have drawn very well here in Detroit. They've averaged at least 30,000 per game over the last decade. We've had some good teams to watch.
Capacity here, 41,000 and change.
Poked down the right field line, but out of play. One and two on Cespedes. Russell playing almost behind second. One other note about yesterday to start the draft. Shortstops were the top 3 picks.
Yeah.
First time that's ever happened. Dansby Swanson from Vanderbilt went number 1 to the Diamondbacks. Alex Bregman went to Houston out of LSU. And Brendan Rodgers, a high school kid out of Florida, went to the Rockies. Cam Gibson, the son of Kurt Gibson, a center fielder. I want to say a 5th rounder of the Tigers today.
Mm-hmm.
That'll get down. DeNorfia will chase after it. Cabrera's going to hold it second. And the Tigers threatening here 2 on with nobody out.
Tries to tie him up with that cut fastball in, but Cespedes able to get the hands pulled in and the barrel to that cutter. Solid swing to the left. A precarious situation for John Lester. Talked about the Tigers bouncing into so many double plays. It's exactly what he needs right here off the bat of J.D. Martinez. Good pop on that heater tonight. It's been 93, 94 consistently. I don't know if I mentioned it or not, but the triple play is in order.
Well, that was assumed, I think. But yes, it's worth a mention.
Nothing wrong with begging. There's no crying in baseball, but there's plenty of begging.
2-1. Our AT&T U-verse multi-view. Back-to-back singles by Cabrera and Cespedes. Setting things up for Martinez. 2 balls and a strike. Oh, that was an awkward swing. Wow. Didn't think he thought he was getting a curveball, did he?
No, that was a fastball swing right there. He's trying to clear out and get ready for that heater in or the cutter in. He's trying to be early, and he gets fooled with the off-speed breaking ball. John Lester is a big dude, broad-shouldered, big legs, strong lower body, really uses those legs in his delivery.
Big pitch coming up, the 3-2, ground ball foul.
Hey, that would have been a triple play ball right there.
You're right. Deep breath by John. Here it is. In the air to right. Lake back to the warning track. He has just enough room. Both guys tagging. Throw to second is going to be late. A good base running by Cespedes. Cabrera with an easy tag from second to third, but Cespedes keeping the Tigers out of the double play here.
Yeah, it's an aggressive play by Cespedes. Junior Lake catches that ball flat-footed out on the track. Really did not get behind that ball. He was not anticipating Cespedes tagging and trying to get into scoring position.
That could potentially be a pretty big play here in this inning. Instead of first and third, it's second and third for Castellanos. Cubs will play their infield back. Rizzo in maybe a couple of steps. He could possibly go home. Ground ball into left, base hit. Cabrera scores. Dave Clark's going to send Cespedes, and he will cross the dish, throw to second, out there for the second out of the inning, and it's 3-0 Detroit on the 2-run single by Nick Castellanos.
Third hit of the inning for the Tigers. Castellanos like Cespedes, gets that cut fastball inside and manages to do something with it. Didn't hit it that sharply, but found a hole between third and short. Dave Clark with the send of Cespedes. And Denorfia making sure that ball was low enough where it could be cut, so at least the Cubs get an out of the play.
So bases empty, 2 outs, and now the catcher McCann. And a swing and a miss. And they're able to cash in those back-to-back singles to start the inning. Seven, 5-4 to get Castellanos at second.
And the hustle play by Cespedes pays off. If he doesn't tag in advance, obviously he doesn't score on that base hit to left field.
Two and two the count. 50th major league game for McCann. He has 2 career home runs. The first was at Minnesota on April 29th. It was an inside the Parker.
Wasn't his second one a walk-off or a game tie or something? I would say it was a walk-off to beat the Astros. Yeah, he doesn't settle for just routine home runs.
Yeah, it was a game winner off Tony Sipp on May 21st. Lester's had to labor here. 25 pitches this inning. That one feathered to right. Fair ball. Lake will go after it. McCann making the turn. Here comes the throw. Safe. It's a double.
Junior Lake able to get over there in a hurry and get a lot on this throw into second base, and McCann barely in ahead of it. But that's 3 singles and a double for the Tigers here in the 4th.
Curve is over on Josh Wilson. Bounced around the league since 2005. 34 years old.
His 9th different team that he has played for.
Called strike. 1-2. Fouled back. Matt Holliday put on the 15-day DL by the Cardinals today. He's got a strained right quad.
Yeah, sooner or later those injuries have to catch up to that club. They've got to come back to the pack a little bit. Wainwright, Adams, now Holliday.
They're in Colorado tonight. Michael Wacha will go for his 9th win. Swing and a miss to end the inning. 2-run single, Nick Castellanos, a 31-pitch inning for Lester.
Park today. There's some of them now taking in the ball game. They get younger and younger. Really smart young kids. Yeah, really impressive stuff. Are you in charge of planning your next social gathering? Plan it at Wrigley Field. Enjoy special perks only available inside the ballpark. Cubs offer special ticket packages for groups of 15 or more. Visit Cubs.com/groups.
Chuck and Sandy Lampe from Washington, Illinois, are in town this week. They're going to be in Cleveland next week, and that will leave them with 3 ballparks to complete their bucket list of seeing the Cubs in every ballpark. Baltimore, Tampa Bay, Texas, the only 3 in which they haven't seen the Cubs. Here's Castro, 1 strike on him. Anibal Sanchez working with a 3-0 lead. Cubs have yet to get anything going, just a couple of singles, one in the first, one in the second. And again, remember that catch by Rajai Davis. David Ross thought he had a 2-run homer.
Robbed by Rajai was Ross. Cubs could go for the little leadoff double here from Castro. That would work just fine. Don't let him in there.
Fouled back. This is a very nice ballpark. You've got great scenery around the ballpark. See all the buildings downtown. A lot going on around Comerica. The Ford Field is right next door where the Detroit Lions play. I guess the one complaint is that ball hit pretty well, but Davis will range over to right center. Is it feels like the anti-Tiger Stadium. At Tiger Stadium, man, you are right on top of the field. This is a huge ballpark.
Yeah, Tiger Stadium was small and old, and so they went new and big.
Mentioned a lot of foul territory. And a strike called on Lake. But that's a minor complaint. Yeah, 420 to straightaway center. The flagpole, the American flag, that pole was in play when this ballpark was built as a nod to Tiger Stadium. It's now behind the fence and in the bullpen.
Yeah, so much more friendlier in the power alleys here. Then it used to be 365 in right center. We showed you the short wall that Davis went up over to make the play on David Ross.
Yeah, they didn't mess around when they moved the fences in out there and left. 25 feet. The joke was Comerica National Park when it was built. Lined into center for Junior Lake. And David Ross, not sure what this was all about. We'll have to ask him. Was he trying to get hit by that foul ball, then a pass ball, and then here thought he had gotten it. Rajai Davis took it away. I guess all he could do is try to hit it a little farther.
He tried. He doesn't get cheated. When he turns it loose, he lets that bat fly. What's going on with Tiger Stadium these days?
The corner of Michigan and Trumbull, they still have the flagpole, and I think they do occasionally get together for some pickup games, but essentially a vacant lot. Yeah, we were chatting with Willie Horton. Said, you know, the light standard that Reggie Jackson hit in the All-Star game.
Right.
Willie said, I hit it in high school when I was 17.
He still looks like he could hit it a long way. He's in great shape.
Swing and a miss, 0-2.
I thought you were going to say Reggie has the light standard in his backyard somewhere.
Runner goes. Ross fouls back. Willie Horton's first career homer was off a future Hall of Famer, Robin Roberts, back in 1963.
Yeah, we were chatting with him earlier. He was telling some great stories. The one that I got a kick out of was when he was first up with the Tigers. He was 19 years of age. He was hanging out down in the bullpen, the game he wasn't starting, and he was talking to his high school buddies who were in the stands, and they called on him to pinch hit, and he had to come through the stands to get to the dugout to pinch hit.
Swing and a miss, strike three. Throw to second, save. McCann's been really good throwing out base stealers. It was close, but Lake got in to keep the inning alive with his fourth steal of the year.
Yeah, McCann is still caught 50%, which is way above average. Lake gets a pretty good break on Sanchez. Head first slide just in ahead of the tag. Aiming for that front corner of the base, and that was close. Brad Austin, I think he's going to take a look at this one. You know, our first look, it looked like he was clearly safe, but that last replay, it looked like they may have had him.
So he has challenged the safe call at second.
I don't know if there's enough there for them to overturn it, but they may have another look.
If Kinsler had kept the tag on the whole time, I think Junior might have come off the bag before the leg hit. But to infielders, their first instinct is to show the umpire, right?
Yeah.
To show them the ball.
Yeah, that's taught to get swiping, get in, get out. Because it used to be, the thinking used to be that if you held the tag, tried to hold it there, it was an indication that you didn't get him and that you were trying to get him after the fact.
Everybody looking at the scoreboard right now. I think Ausmus may be saying, I'm just not sure. That angle, there's nothing conclusive. It's really close. That's what's conclusive. I can conclude that it was really close.
Oh, we forgot to get our Brad Ausmus T-shirts. Players were all wearing Brad Ausmus' Dreamy or something like that.
Yeah, you mentioned Lake was trying to get that corner, and it looked like he missed the corner, got the bag kind of in the middle of the base. Here we go. We think.
Well, it's either inning over or RBI opportunity for Russell, and it'll be the latter.
Call stands. Sanchez will take a couple of warm-up tosses just to tie up the Willie Horton story. I know you're reading the Billy Martin book, and Willie played for Billy and said he helped him a lot in his career.
Yeah,
he kind of gave him a tough love.
Came to his house and said, "You're not going to play for me the way you have been playing." Basically accusing Willie of not, playing all out all the time.
Taking advantage of his veteran status was the way it was put to him, and he said it was the first time. There's a base hit. Lake around third. Here comes the throw to the plate. And Junior's out. Every third base coach is going to send him with 2 outs in that spot. But Yoenis Cespedes nails him. And that keeps the Cubs off the board. Still 3-0. Cespedes has a very good arm out there in the outfield, but that's almost an automatic 2-out send.
Well, it just seems like a Junior Lake should have enough speed to be able to score on a routine ground ball base hit to left field. Cespedes closed in a hurry. He does have a cannon.
That was a great throw, but
yeah, it was a great throw.
No problem with the send.
Oh no, there's none. Yeah, no problem with that. I'm just wondering what kind of a secondary Junior had, how good of a break he got, because that wasn't really close at home plate. Might have been a little closer had he gone directly towards home plate.
That'll get past a diving Russell. Iglesias is on.
He's got a pretty small lead. Probably could have gotten a little bit more there. So we saw Rajai Davis do his thing, and with the speed and the athleticism in center field, and then Cespedes with a cannon for an arm doing his thing, throwing Lake out at home. Tigers defense, big part of the story here tonight.
And yeah, I mean, you can disagree with the send all you want, but I'll give you a 90. I'll give you 100%. This is how confident I am that Joe Madden will tell us that Gary Jones absolutely should have sent him. So if you want to disagree with the manager, you can, but
well, not just Joe Madden, probably any manager in the game.
Yeah. The other thing is you're down 3-0, and the way Sanchez has been pitching, you got to take your shot when you can get it. Even with a good accurate arm in the outfield, the question is, so let's say Fowler, the next guy up, has a 3 in 10 chance of getting a hit. Do you have a 3 in 10 chance of scoring on that play? If it's 50-50 even, you send him. Runner goes from first. Ross's throw in time. They got him. Good tag there by Russell.
Ross has been on a nice roll here lately, throwing the baseball. A couple caught stealing and a big pickoff the other day in Washington, and now he gets Iglesias.
And he did get him, but even if he didn't, Brad Ausmus does not have a challenge.
Wow, that's just good baseball there by Russell, hanging in, making the pick and the tag. That base runner coming hard into him. That is pretty slick.
Line shot, that's going to carry for a while. All the way to the wall for Davis. It's got triple written all over it. Standing, in fact. A 3-base hit by Davis, who's had a huge night.
Double and scored. Home run saving catch. And now a triple. He could have moonwalked from second to third base on this one. And boy, he's thinking 3 all the way. That burst out of the box.
Infield in. Strike called. Kinsler has lined out and grounded out. Cabrera on deck.
Kinsler was up in this situation first time up. He popped out to second base. Little soft line drive.
Floated to right. It's into the corner. Davis trots home. Kinsler going to try for 2. He's going to stop at second. Thought about 3 and hit the brakes. 4-0.
Four hits for the Tigers in the 4th, 3 here in the 5th. Getting some real good looks at John Lester. This one not really smothered, but well placed. It's a little inside out swing. See around second base. Slamming on the brakes. I don't know if you saw Dave Clark or not, but Dave Clark was telling him just that. Drop anchor.
But a tough road trip for John Lester. Gave up 6 runs on 9 hits in his 5 innings in Miami. 4 runs, and they're threatening to get more here in the 5th tonight.
Coming off a month of May in which he was 4-1 with a 176 earned run average. And here comes Cabrera. They will be in pitch around mode here with Cabrera up and a man on second base.
Former Tiger Edwin Jackson throwing in the bullpen. High pitch count for Lester, number 87 on the night, 2-0. Aren't a lot of places to go here against Cabrera, especially when you're down 2-0 now.
Yeah, they're going exactly where they wanted to go. They're just essentially intentionally walking without standing up and holding the hand out. You know, when a guy takes second base, they call fielding and the fielder's indifference when there's no attempt. You almost could rule that an intentional walk. That's defensive indifference with Cabrera. Did not want any part of him.
Here comes Chris Bosio.
I mentioned earlier that John Lester has a 5 and change ERA here in this ballpark. It doesn't necessarily mean you're not going to turn around and pitch better, but sometimes if you have a couple bad outings in a certain ballpark, that kind of lingers. Just have a bad feeling about a place. You get on the mound, you're looking at home plate. Just sometimes the look doesn't feel good. Golfers know what I'm talking about. If there's a hole or a couple of holes on your home course that every time you play it, you hit the ball into the trees and you make a triple bogey. Pitchers get that feeling sometimes about certain ballparks.
Outside for a ball. How'd you hit him yesterday, by the way?
Hit him pretty good.
Nice day to get out.
Beautiful day.
Play some golf yesterday.
Beautiful day, yeah. Imagine that was on the agenda for a lot of the Cubs personnel on this trip.
Yep.
Did you get a nice run in?
I did. Three and 0. Single, triple, double walk. Lester's been helped by David Ross, who nailed Iglesias at second. And they're loaded.
Interesting, you know, Tigers scored one in the first. John worked pretty hard in that inning. Then he struck out the side in the second, and you thought, okay, he's on his way here. He's going to get things turned around. Clean third inning. But, boy, the last couple innings, Tigers have been all over him.
It's going to be it for John. Can't make it through the 5th tonight. He's going to turn it over to Edwin Jackson. Bases loaded, 1 out. It's a Weber Sauces and Seasonings call to the pen. Why grill with anything else? The pen, and here's Edwin Jackson. 1 out, bases loaded. A run in. It's 4-0 Detroit.
Edwin working for the 15th time and the 4th time on this road trip. He's not allowed to run in his previous 3 appearances on the trip. A couple in Miami, 1 in Washington. Got a chance to be a hero here tonight. If he can get out of this without allowing any further damage, Cubs still have a fighting chance to come back here this evening.
J.D. Martinez, a batter. Jackson was an all-star here in Detroit. 13-game winner, 214 innings back in 2009. Best year of his career. His age 25 season. Base hit left field. Kinsler scores. Cabrera stops at third. It's 5-0.
They just keep moving the line. Mid-thighs fastball. Martinez gets the front foot down early.
Yeah, the timing of this series, not great for the Cubs. The Tigers had lost 8 in a row before winning their final 2 games against the White Sox in Chicago this past weekend. 13 runs in those 2 games. So they were bound to have a correction in the market. And they're continuing that here tonight. Because again, this is not an offense that you expect to finish 9th in the league in runs.
Now the Cubs caught a break in that they were facing, or potentially caught a break in that they were facing 2 starting pitchers in this series that had been struggling. They avoided David Price. Well, yeah, you knew it was just a matter of time before the Tigers hitters got back on track.
Golfed foul out of play off of first.
Dave Dombrowski, speaking with the media the other day, said this is not on Brad Ausmus. Said it wouldn't be fair to pin this on Brad. Talking about their 8-game losing streak.
There's Dave Dombrowski, Chicago native.
It's almost never fair to pin it on the manager. It doesn't mean it doesn't happen.
Two balls, 2 strikes on Castellanos. Swing and a miss, strike 3, 2 outs. Here's McCann, the catcher. 10 hits for Detroit. One and one. Line to Russell. Hit it hard, but for an out. They had a couple to their lead, 5-0 Detroit. For the best Stanley Cup final coverage in town, starting with Blackhawks pregame live on CSN Plus. Then flip over to CSN after Game 4 for player and coach reaction, highlights, and much more on Blackhawks postgame live. Stanley Cup final Game 4 coverage starts tomorrow at 6:30 on CSN Plus. Rough ride for John Lester tonight. 4 1/3, 9 hits. 5 runs all earned. Swing and a miss by Dexter Fowler. Lester's ERA at 4.25. Started the night at 386. And Sanchez, who had been struggling, working with a 5-0 lead.
Yeah, it could have been worse. You know, Jackson allowed the 1 run to come home after he came in. Could have been worse, so the Cubs still with a fighting chance here. But they probably ought to make some noise before too long. This would be a good time. Top of the order up. Third look at Sanchez.
Strike 3 called. 1 away.
Fifth one for Sanchez.
Against 0 walks. And here's Rizzo.
Rizzo with a 12-game hitting streak on the line. Talked earlier about Cabrera in that 3.45 slash line. Well, Rizzo's 3.46 with a slugging average better than 600.
What he's done during his 12-game hitting streak, longest of his career. And the remarkable thing about that graphic right there. Is it doesn't seem much out of line with what he's done the rest of the season.
It's not like it's been a sudden burst.
Right.
Not like he was just kind of limping along and then kicked it in. He's been sprinting the whole marathon here.
Change up, just foul past first. We mentioned the triumphs of Anibal Sanchez, the no-hitter, got 4 one-hitters on his resume. He's had to deal with some personal tragedy when he was a teenager. His older cousin was murdered in Venezuela. They were very close. His young son died a few months after he was born in 2007. So he's gone through a lot off the field. Cespedes in, and he's got it.
This Saturday, the Cubs take on the Reds. Prior to the game, Jake Arrieta presents Catch in the Confines. Well, he'll host a meet and greet. He'll take photos, sign autographs. Fans of all ages can play catch in the outfield and hang out in the dugouts. Proceeds benefit the Cubs Scholars Program, which gives deserving students the chance to receive a college education. For tickets, visit Cubs.com/catch. Did you play catch or have a catch?
I played catch,
Yeah, I played
but
catch
I think
too.
the have a catch is the Field of Dreams line, right?
I don't know. It was kind of a. What I found, there were certain pockets on the Eastern Seaboard. When I was in college ball playing summer leagues, and then in the minor leagues, other guys from some parts of the Northeast would say have a catch. But I was a play a catch guy.
It's like being in line or on line, right, at the deli.
Mm-hmm.
Davis has it, inning over. All Tigers so far, 5-0.
ATI Physical Therapy are back. Give your kids an unforgettable baseball experience this summer. First camp kicks off in Lake Forest on June 22nd. Sign up at Cubs.com/kids.
Jackson to Wilson, and a foul strike. 5-zip Detroit.
This is a presidential matchup.
Right. Good fastball that time. Reds leading the Phillies 7-1 as they go to the 7th. Looking for their 3rd in a row. Another ball is going to drop. Everything the Tigers have hit tonight has fallen in. That's a double.
Yeah, and you know, there's some games when that happens and you kind of bemoan some tough luck, you know, a little blooper here, bleeder there, one that squirts through the infield. Most of it tonight has been pretty well struck and a lot of solid contact from these Tiger hitters.
Iglesias, fastball, strike 1. Brewers leading the Pirates 3-1. They're in the 8th inning in Pittsburgh. Cubs a percentage point ahead of the Pirates for 2nd currently in the National League Central.
Iglesias started the ball game with a .331 batting average. He's 1 out of 2. He was hitting .442 against left-handed pitching. Despite that, Brad Ausmus had him down in the 9-hole against John Lester here tonight. I guess that speaks to the depth of this Tiger lineup when everybody's doing their thing. Not a dangerous hitter. He doesn't hit for power.
Two strikes on him. Blocked by Ross. Nationals and Yanks 1-1 interleague play in the Bronx. They're in the 7th. Iglesias has done well against both lefties and righties, but a lot better against lefties.
Trying to shoot that ball to right field. Cubs play him as an extreme off-field hitter, especially now with 2 strikes. Junior Lake is really close to the line now, just starting to drift a little bit. It's about as close to the line as you're going to see an outfielder play for a non-pitcher.
Got a no-hitter alert. Chris Heston no-hitting the Mets through 6. Giants 5. Mets nothing as they play the 7th. We will keep you posted. And he got him on a pitch in the dirt. Second strikeout for Jackson. And time now for a T-Mobile game changer. Rajai Davis with a couple of hits, a double, a triple. He has scored 2 runs. So +2 there and took away 2 on what would have been a home run for David Ross. So he's kind of that +4 in the hockey parlance.
Perfect timing as he went up and took that home run away from David Ross.
.290 steals since 2008, leading the American League. Got 13 this year.
First broke into the big leagues with the Pirates back in 2006. This This is his second year with the Tigers after a couple seasons in Toronto. He's also been with Oakland and San Francisco.
I mean, Davis is 34, Kinsler's 32, Cabrera 32, Cespedes 29, Martinez 27. It's JD Martinez. Victor's in his 30s. Victor Martinez on the deal. He's 36. Bryant's got to hurry, and he gets him on the barehanded play. Nicely done. They get the speedy Davis. Wilson at third, 2 outs.
Yeah, good recognition there by Bryant. With somebody else going down the line there, maybe he has time to glove that ball, make a transfer to his throwing hand, and then go to first. But with Davis going down the line, the bare hand's the right play. Gets himself a nice angle, quick release.
So the biggest question for the Tigers is which Justin Verlander are they going to see? This is why you make the big bucks. Tell them who they're going to see.
I have no idea who they're going to see.
Yeah, I mean,
if they could get the guy that they used to know and love, they would be thrilled.
So even the quote bad year last year, I mean, he had a 4.54 ERA, but he still made 32 starts, 206 innings. They'd love to have the guy who won 24 games in 2011.
Well, that guy
they'll see that guy again.
That guy was averaging 95 miles an hour with his heater and could get into the upper 90s. Last year's guy averaged a little over 92 miles per hour.
Toward right, Russell dives. The throw to first late. He did all he could, but Ian Kinsler with a base hit to make it 6-0 as Wilson scores.
High percentage of the Tigers base runners tonight have come around to score. Wilson with the leadoff double went to third on the ground ball to third base. Comes home on the infield single. Don't know if Rizzo was a better option on this ball. If a Rizzo to Jackson play might have gotten it done.
Cabrera fouls.
Russell
2 singles and a walk.
Addison Russell, prior to the pitch, moved to the shortstop side of second base, pretty much playing, right behind the bag, a step to the shortstop side. Cabrera with a swing trying to drive the ball the other way. He hits a lot of balls the other way in the outfield, not so much on the ground. Where he goes, uses left, center, and right.
Pole to pole power. And 1-2.
Two-time MVP.
Triple Crown winner in the American League in 2012.
Tigers have had 11 MVPs in their long history. Looking at that earlier today, 5 of the 11 were pitchers. Pretty rare to have a pitcher to win an MVP.
The last 2 would have been Verlander, Willie Hernandez.
Correct.
Okay.
You want to keep playing?
Pitchers?
Mm-hmm.
Did McClain?
Danny McClain in '68.
Right. And
then back-to-back in 44 and 45. You are correct, sir.
Okay.
Because there's that trivia question. There's you can go all the way around the diamond with back-to-back MVP winners. And Hal Newhouser is the pitcher.
Look at that leg kick. Russell down to his knees, close at second. They didn't get him. Throw to first. Cabrera gave up on it, it appeared.
He did.
Wow.
He was lucky. He got caught watching that play at second base. So, in hindsight, the easy play is first base. Russell from the knees to Castro.
Yeah, he just couldn't find the bag with his foot, but almost got Cabrera.
I think Starlin was anticipating Russell making a throw to first.
So the inning continues here. Cespedes. Chris Heston threw 7 for the Giants with a no-hitter in New York. Cespedes waves at strike 1. Cabrera gets a single. He's 3 for 3. Hard hit ground ball. Castro will flip to Russell, and that will end the inning. They leave a pair. They score 1. It's 6-0. Cubs offense trying to get something going against Anibal Sanchez. Miguel Montero, the DH, 0 for 2. Leading off the 7th, and a four-seamer right down the middle. That's a strike. Giancarlo Stanton has hit 2 home runs tonight. Marlins are in Toronto. He's got 21. They lead 3-2 over the Blue Jays in the 9th.
Sanchez 4 hits. He hasn't walked anybody. He's punched out 5. There's been a couple of Cubs to reach scoring position here tonight. We talked about his reverse splits, how he's been better against left-handed batters than righties, and so far tonight the left-handed hitters have not done anything against him.
On the ground for the third baseman. Wilson makes the play for the out.
Comes back home for the Reds on Thursday. If you want to come to the ballpark, here are some options. Public transportation, always a good idea. If you ride your bike, there's a courtesy bike check there at Clark and Addison. And if you want to drive your car, the Cubs provide free parking and shuttle service on night and weekend games from 3900 North Rockwell. For details, visit Cubs.com.
Bryce Harper with number 20 for the Nationals run tonight. Denorfia chops to Wilson at third, 2 down.
Sanchez looking for his 4th 3-up, 3-down inning.
I don't know how much you look at the leaders in each league.
I dabble in leaders.
Okay. Here's the question.
Okay, well,
don't look.
All right.
So Stanton leading the league with 21 homers, the National League. Bryce Harper has 20. Who's third?
Third in the National League in home runs.
Yep.
Joey Votto.
Nope.
Can I phone a friend?
No. Lined in the left. Castro with his second hit. Jock Peterson has 17.
Jock Peterson. The leading candidate for Rookie of the Year, Jock Peterson of the Dodgers.
Some very good candidates. The Cubs have at least one, maybe a couple, maybe 3. Still a long way to go. We don't know. We'll see Todd Frazier and the Reds Thursday night at Wrigley Field.
As a kid, I used to pore over the box scores every day and the league leaderboards and all. The Sunday paper used to always put the list of the batting average leaders in.
Yep.
Always look for your favorite guy.
I remember I would go to school early in April and May. Grab the USA Today before my first class in high school and check out last night's box scores. Yep. Do they even print box scores in the daily paper now? I don't get a print version.
Yeah, I think they do.
All of them? Probably just the hometown team, right?
I don't know.
It's sad that we don't know.
Should know.
We should. As late foul tips, I'm sure we'll find out on Twitter of all places.
I think they do. They must.
Game set. Jake Arrieta looks for win number 6 against the Tigers. It begins tomorrow at 6 right here on CSN Chicago. Your probables.
Green got off to a really good start, has struggled. He's 4-5 with a 5.40. Arrieta's been solid, was good last time out. We'll be looking for his 6th win.
Then we welcome the state of Ohio to Wrigley Field.
And we need to get the Columbus Clippers on the schedule. Got the Reds and then the Indians coming to town.
You ever think about having JD put on your uniform when you played?
No.
Martinez has JD on his, but they've got a Victor, so
yeah,
he gets
distinguished.
What's the full name?
John David, I believe. No, Julio David. Julio.
Okay. Hey, Joey Votto's hit 3 homers tonight.
I saw where he's hitting home runs tonight, so he was on the front of my brain there when you asked that home run question.
Russell against Martinez.
Nine to 2 the Reds over the Phillies now.
Hey, if you like statues of tigers with a lot of menacing looks, this is your place.
This is a good spot.
You should come to Comerica Park.
So when you said that, I thought maybe you're talking about like Hal Newhouser and Al
No,
Kaline.
I meant
You're
literally,
yeah.
you know, the animal, the tiger. Yeah. Mean-looking cat.
That'd be tough to get your kid on that on the merry-go-round. And if your kid wanted to ride that one, you'd have to ask some serious questions.
Jackson's 1-1. Slider bounced up there. Towering fly ball. Center field. It'll be Fowler to make the catch.
Seems like the Giants throw a no-hitter every year.
It does.
Lincecum got back-to-back years against the Padres. Kane had the perfect game, I think, was it 3 years ago?
Sounds right.
Bumgarner have one?
I'm going to say no.
I don't think so.
His postseason performance wasn't good enough.
Yeah, it was really good, but
he doesn't have a no-hitter.
2 base runners for the Mets tonight in that game. They were back-to-back hit by pitches in the 4th inning. So Heston threw 7 with his no intact and only 74 pitches.
Curve for a strike. Justin Verlander slated to come off the DL on Saturday versus Cleveland. Swing and a miss, strike 3. To end the inning to the 8th, 6-0 Detroit. To the moment at any moment with in-game highlights, live look-ins, replay reviews, radio broadcasts, StatCast, and more. Get MLB.com at bat for your smartphone or tablet. A loss tonight would drop the Cubs to 4-4 on this road trip. And Anibal Sanchez has been in complete command. Cubs have not yet had, well, they've had 2 base runners in an inning, I guess once. Junior Lake was thrown out at the plate on an Addison Russell single. That's been basically it. Outside to Ross. One and one. Russell, then Fowler here in the 8th. Davis calls off Kinsler. Albert Pujols homering tonight has tied Mickey Mantle for 16th on the all-time list, number 536. Got 8 homers his last 11 games. Right field corner for Russell. Foul. See, if he's wearing a Tiger uniform tonight, that's fair by 3 feet.
Yeah.
It's just the way it's gone.
So reports of Albert's demise
greatly exaggerated. Yeah. Yep. The Angels are in Tampa Bay, leading 5-2 in the top of the 8th inning.
Two of those 3 Joey Votto home runs tonight off his old teammate Aaron Harang. Harang, who had been so good, one of the really interesting stories in the early part of the year, charged with 7 runs tonight in 6 innings of work, but still has an ERA just a little above 3. Jake Bruce has started to make some noise with the bat too. So maybe reports of that club's demise exaggerated too. We'll see.
Swing and a miss.
Here shortly. Thursday, as a matter of fact.
So Heston's through 8. He will go to the bottom of the 9th with a no-hitter intact. Chris Heston, 96 pitches, so he's still in pretty good shape. And now Chris Young of the Kansas City Royals has no-hit the Twins through 5. 1-0 Royals at Target Field. And lined into right. Fowler is on for the first time.
Been 2 no-hitters thrown against the Mets in their history. Jim Bunning threw a perfect game for the Phillies against them in '64. Bob Moose, a no-no while pitching for the Pirates in '69. See if Riz can keep his hitting streak going here.
Yeah, this may be his last chance. He has struck out, grounded out, flied out. Throw to first. Fowler able to read it. Only reaches base, but on a walk.
First one issued by Sanchez tonight.
Well, that'll bring Jeff Jones, the pitching coach, out. So Miguel Cabrera has a 27-game on-base streak. And just thinking about statistics in this game, there have been pitching performances. Kerry Wood's 20 strikeout game would definitely come to mind, in which a guy didn't make history in terms of a no-hitter, but you could absolutely claim that it was a more dominating, more impressive performance than many no-hitters that have been pitched.
Sure.
Right? So Rizzo's hitting streak probably comes to an end tonight, but why doesn't the walk? I mean, it keeps the on-base streak alive, but
nobody talks about the longest on-base streak ever.
Nope. You talk about 56 games, Joe DiMaggio. You and I have joked about the cycle. Sean Green's 4-homer, 6-for-6 game, way more impressive than any cycle that you'd ever see. But the cycle has that
even a
cachet.
Even a home run, a triple, and a double and a single, or two doubles. I mean,
more total bases in a cycle would be more impressive.
Yeah.
There was a lot of controversy around Miguel Cabrera's first MVP win in 2012 because some thought Mike Trout deserved it. But here's the thing. He hit for the Triple Crown, something that hadn't been accomplished since 1967. And I remember talking to some people, and the answer was, no, you win the Triple Crown, you win the MVP.
Which,
swing and a miss.
I don't know that I would have voted that way, but I understand a voter doing that, saying this guy won a Triple Crown, he's getting the MVP. Because Ted Williams, I believe, twice won the Triple Crown and did not win the MVP.
It gets away. Both runners will advance. Yeah, I know wins above replacement is not the only thing you look at, but that year Cabrera got 22 first place votes. Trout got 6. Cabrera's OPS 993, Trout 999 rather. Trout 963. Trout was worth almost 11 wins above replacement. Cabrera 7.2. So when you add in the defense, that's what the Trout supporters thought should have won him the award.
Yeah, defense, the speed.
It's fun. You can't go wrong by saying Miguel Cabrera is the best player in the league. Three-two to Bryant, and it's ball 4. So here's the interesting thing: it's 6-0. At times this game has felt like it's 15-0, but one big swing and all of a sudden it gets very interesting.
Brad Ausmus waiting to hear on whether his guy's ready out there in the bullpen. And he just said he's ready.
Sanchez will get a nice hand from this crowd of 33,000 plus. It'll be a Weber's Sauces and Seasonings call to the pen. Bases loaded. 2 outs, 8th inning, 6-0 Detroit. Is on with the bases loaded, 2 outs here in the 8th inning.
Java's doing a nice job for the Tigers for the 22nd time. He's got a 1.15 ERA. He's cut that walk rate way down. 15 2/3 innings. He's allowed 19 hits, but just 3 walks. Struck out 10. Hitters hitting .306 against him. Fastball, curveball, slider, and a change. Velocity down a couple of clicks from when he first came into the big leagues with the Yankees. Debuted with them in 2007. 96, 97 miles an hour back then. Now he sits right around 93. Quiet night for Montero so far. Punch out and a couple ground outs.
Ball 1. Blaine Hardy. Two and one. Denorfia on deck. Cubs down 6 with a swing away from getting back in it.
Normally, you've got to beat Montero in the strike zone. He's not going to expand. Not very often, anyway. Thought that one was off the plate. That's a huge pitch. Big difference between hitting 2-2 and 3-1. Clip the corner.
Chamberlain, the former Yankee, second year with Detroit. 2-2. Close, missed outside. It's full. 3-2. Lincoln, Nebraska. 29 years old. 6'2", 250. Runners go, swing and a miss to end the inning. Montero, so still 6-0. And Wilson takes a strike. Chris Heston with a no-hitter. 5-0. The Giants beat the Mets. 11 strikeouts for Heston. 110 pitches. He's 29 batters.
How about that? Well, Anibal Sanchez threw a no-hitter his rookie year. Heston in his 13th major league start gets it done.
I've got the list, the Giants list, if you would like to hear it. 1 and 2 on Wilson. Swing and a miss, strike 3.
Sure.
So going backwards, Heston tonight, Lincecum against the Padres, right? Both times.
Mm-hmm.
In 14, so this is a 4th straight season the Giants have pitched a no-hitter. Matt Cain, perfect game 2012. Jonathan Sanchez, no-hitter 2009, and then you've got to go back to the 70s.
And as much as we'd all like to go back to the 70s.
Right. The 17th in the history of the franchise, dating back to Amos Rusi back in 1891, and Christy Mathewson threw a couple in the aughts.
Marichal ever get one?
Yes, 1963, June 15th. Iglesias in the air. Outfield playing pretty shallow, and it'll be Fowler to make the catch. 2 outs.
Joe Matt talking the other day in Washington said, you know, you could really bring an extra bench player. He's playing with a 3-man bench tonight using the DH. You could call up another position player and send out a pitcher, because You don't need as many pitchers in the American League because you don't have to hit for your pitcher. And that's a great example of it here tonight. Lester going just 4 1/3, but Edwin Jackson carrying the mail the rest of the way here.
Curve misses low. Alex Wilson up in the bullpen.
Most American League clubs use the DH every day, have a 4-man bench. Joe Madden has had a 4-man bench most of this year. And again, tonight with the DH, he has a 3-man bench. Most National League clubs carry a 5-man bench. Most American League managers prefer to have an extra pitcher because they just don't pinch hit. They don't use their bench as much as you do in the National League.
Heston hit 3 Mets. Is that a record? A no-hitter? 3 hit batters?
I don't know.
Gotta be close. And no walks. To the 9th, 6-0.
They don't dig in after you get hit.
Anibal Sanchez, who went deep into this ball game, 7 2/3, 6 hits, no runs.
Yeah, you know, a shutdown performance for Sanchez here tonight. One he surely needed. He had been struggling, but you know, when you watched him pitch, you didn't say, man, he had an outstanding breaking ball tonight, or he's lighting up the radar gun. He just pitched, used all of his pitches, moved the ball around, was never really in any trouble at all. Had plenty of offensive support, a couple real nice plays behind him. Chamberlain bailed him out last inning. Now it's Alex Wilson keeping that former Red Sox theme alive. 1-2 with a 1.93 ERA through 16 appearances this season.
Lives in West Virginia. In the winter, went to Texas A&M. He was born in Saudi Arabia. Lives in Hurricane, West Virginia.
There's a name of a town called Hurricane?
Yep.
Wow. I don't think I'd want to live there.
Kind of with you on that. I'm sure it's a lovely town. Line over Kinsler. DeNorfie is on.
Stayed back nicely on that slide. It was a good pitch on the outside corner.
Jeff Passan tweeting. First no-hitter ever with 3 hit batters. Hey, nice job, Edwin Jackson. Not only quantity, but quality tonight, too. 3 2/3, 4 hits, 1 run. No walks, 5 strikeouts. Saved the bullpen tonight.
Yeah, they don't have a stat for it, but it's good work.
Castro with a bit of a defensive swing there.
You got wins, you got saves, you got holds. Don't have a stat for innings saved by you, so that other guys are fresh and ready to go tomorrow.
Oh man,
be a crazy
the acronym for that would be insane. Chris Coghlan is on deck. And if he gets a plate appearance in this game, he will have appeared in every game this year, along with Anthony Rizzo. Castro has played in all but 1. So has Dexter Fowler. Swung on and missed, strike 3.
Tight slider at 88, running off the outside corner to get Castro. Starlin 2 out of 4 tonight. How about bullpen innings saved?
I like it. BPIS. Mike Baxter on deck.
Nationals continue to struggle. They're trailing the Yankees 6-1 now.
Well, that game blew up on them.
Yeah.
Was it the bullpen tonight?
Scherzer ended up being charged with 4 in 6 2/3. Thornton and Hill each allowed a run.
Tanaka for the Yankees tonight. He went 7.
Pair of home runs for Stephen Drew. He got Scherzer, he got Hill. He now has 9. But Chris Young, he still have his no going. He does.
Is he through 6?
Through 6.
Ground ball over the bag and into center. Couple of singles here in the 9th. Cubs without a run on 8 hits tonight.
Good at bat to get from Baxter here. You think, well, it's a 6-0 game. Why not just let Ross hit? Well, this is a guy you're going to ask to come up and maybe get a big hit for you tomorrow night's game late in a high leverage situation. So you give him a chance to see as much live pitching as possible. Give him a fighting chance when he comes off the bench.
Conald Palmer sending us a tweet. He's watching from West Virginia. It's spelled hurricane, exactly like the tropical storm. It is pronounced hurricane. So there you have it. Hurricane, West Virginia. 1-2.
Yeah, because you don't want to be associated with the storm, so you change the pronunciation. Like Roy Oswald. His family didn't want to be Oswald. Or Oswald, excuse me.
Is that true?
I'd heard that story.
Okay. The other thing they could have done, they could have changed the name of the town. But anyway.
Could have just been Blizzard or something.
It'd be Blizzard.
It's dense fog.
Blizzard, West Virginia. That sounds too much like bizarre. Oh, man. 2 outs, and here's Russell. And a rough night for the Cubs.
See it a lot, don't you, after an off day? I'm guessing it had more to do with Anibal Sanchez than anything else.
Yeah, he was really good tonight.
Maybe it's just you notice it more after an off day, because that's one of those theories that's been out there a long time in baseball. Team after an off day comes out just a little flat, doesn't get a lot done offensively. I don't have any evidence to support it.
Skip checks in on the new stat you're trying to create. The bullpen saves. Call it a BS. So Jackson gets 1.
It'll be the first time we spewed a little BS up here.
Yeah, I like it. Very simple. And we get to determine whether or not it's a BS. As
our call.
Russell grounds out, and the Tigers complete the shutout. 6-0 the final score tonight. Sanchez was great. Rajai Davis with the bat and the glove. And a chance for the Cubs to split the series tomorrow night. And I think more importantly, JD, go 5-4 on this trip.
It'd be a nice trip. Pick up this W tomorrow night with Jake Arrieta on the mound. You got to like your chances with Jake going. It would be a very nice trip.